All right, we are back for more. Today we are talking about Hyrox Zone 3, which is the sled pull. This is a zone that I think a lot of people struggle with, just mostly because of technique. It doesn't seem like the most crazy thing at first, but especially that early on in the event. If you don't use the right technique, you're going to blow yourself up for the farmer's carry. You're going to blow your legs up for the lunges, the wall balls, the running. So it is one that takes a specific type of form to be, one, efficient and get through it faster, and two, conserve some energy and prevent yourself from blowing up. So sled pull, it's a fun one.
Yeah, I see a lot of posts on Instagram about it, which isn't surprising because I guess not a lot of people have done sled pulls like that, just in general life. So they need to practice them. But I've seen a lot of posts that talk about how challenging they are. And I think, well, for me, I didn't think it was that bad. I actually like that one more than many others because it was easier for me than others. Probably because I had done it a lot in training previously. So, but it's a fun one, and it's if you haven't done it before, it's certainly challenging.
Yeah, I agree. It is for me as well. It was easier, but I think that was just because I had practiced it too.
Yep.
I mean, the biggest issue that I've seen people make is that they'll just kind of like do a squat position and go hand over hand pulling the sled. I've seen that that is the worst possible way you could do it because you are literally just blowing up your forearms, your biceps, your back muscles, and it's the least efficient way you could possibly do it.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah. If
also
you're trying
time
to,
consuming.
sorry, if you're trying to train for strength, it's a great way to train for strength. But if you're trying to excel in a race and use the least amount of energy needed with the best technique to complete the station as fast as possible, then yeah, you definitely don't want to be holding a squat, which you would need to hold to go arm over arm rowing, because otherwise you're not going to be able to counterbalance the weight. And that's a lot of weight for a single arm to be pulling at a time. So yeah, definitely holding the rope, starting at the front of the box where the line is, not going over the line.
I think we've lost him. So anyway, what he was saying, and I'll say it myself, is when you're doing that, you want to think of it kind of like a deadlift, to where you're holding the rope, you're locking in with your grip, and you're not really pulling with your arms. Your arms are just there stabilizing, and then you're leaning back, using your body weight, and just taking steps back with your legs so that your body weight and your legs are doing the majority of the work, and your arms are locked in. I'm just repeating what you were basically saying, except your camera broke up. So anyway, yeah, that's
Yeah,
going to
I
be
don't
the
know what
most
happened. I heard
efficient.
you the whole time.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, yeah, that's going to be the most
Yeah,
efficient way.
it's
Get
fine.
locked in with your grip. So yes, there is definitely some grip involved, but it's not like the most amount if you're not pulling with your arms. If you just get locked in with your grip, take those small steps back, make sure that the rope is out of the way. You want to have it off to one side, and if you can do it to where, like, as you're taking those small steps back, you're kind of kicking the rope out of the way a little bit, that works. Or you can just make sure it's out of the way, of course, without getting into the other person's box. But obviously you don't want to be tripping all over the rope, which definitely I've seen happen to a lot of different people. But yeah, so think about it mechanically like a deadlift. You get that good hip hinge going, get a good pull back, and then do those steps back to get the follow through. That's the most efficient way to do it. It's going to be the fastest. You're going to conserve energy, and then you're not going to blow up your grip that way.
You already mentioned the rope, but it's very important to practice this so that you can practice pulling back while keeping the rope out from underneath your feet or behind you. Because all that time you spend kicking the rope out of the way or trying to reorganize it or whatever, at whatever point you try and do that, you're just killing seconds each time and wasting energy. So if you can have the rope falling to the side as you go back or in whatever place needed to not trip over it or have to move it right afterwards, then you're in a really good spot and it'll save you a lot of time and effort.
Yes. So I think the best way to train for this would be deadlifts because it's similar to a deadlift. Another really good exercise would be alternating forward lunges because when you're pushing back from a forward lunge, that's kind of like the step back process of the rope pull as far as the way you're working your quads. You're stepping back like that. You're doing knee extension. So I think that's a good way to train for it. And then also doing pull-ups so that your back, your lats, your biceps, your shoulders, your grip is strong. I would say those are the three best exercises in my opinion. Deadlifts, alternating forward lunges, and pull-ups.
So for the exercise, I would recommend, it's kind of cheating to say it, but you're still using a sled. You can either use, there's specific rope attachments. They're not like thick ropes like a DECA that you can, there's straps that you can use for sled pulls, or you can use like a TRX or something hooked up to a sled and do sled pulls that way. But just walking backwards with a lot of weight on the sled will help you a ton with this exercise.
Yep. And then just like with the sled push, pacing is going to be very important. I mean, we're going to touch on this for every single zone because it's Hyrox and Hyrox is all about pacing. So yeah, you don't want to go like ballistic and pull it as fast as you possibly can to get it done as fast as you can, because then you'll blow up even if you're doing it as perfectly as you should. So pacing is still extremely important here. And that just takes practice. Get a sled, get a rope, go through the full distance with whatever weight you're going to be using and the heat that you're going to be doing, and pace it out. Get used to what it feels like and how fast you should do it. If you need to take little breaks, like when you're taking steps back in the box and you finish a full length of the box, if you need like a 10-second break, that's fine. Or if you can go right back into it, that's fine too. But you need to figure those things out before you actually do the race. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to risk blowing up.
Yep. As always, just make sure you train for it. Practice the movement so you're skilled at the movement, and train for the stresses of the movement itself. So you'll be good. You'll do well.
Smooth sailing.
All right. That's it for Station 3 for Hyrox.
All right, guys. We will see you back again for Station 4.
See ya.
Bye.